Here are the top stories for today, February 12, 2020. Malacañang expects ties between the Philippines and the United States to remain warm despite the cancellation of the Visiting Forces Agreement. The World Health Organization officially renames the novel coronavirus to COVID-19. Iloilo bans the entry of pork and pork byproducts from Mindanao due to the African swine fever. And the shrine for the Cafgu becomes a popular tourist spot in Nueva Ecija. Good day, I'm William Theo. Welcome to the PNA Newsroom. Malacañang on Tuesday expressed optimism that the Philippines will have warmer bilateral relations with the United States despite President Rodrigo Duterte's move to terminate the Visiting Forces Agreement. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said he is expecting the U.S. to give the Philippines preferential attention following the sending of formal notice of termination of VFA to Washington. He said the intrusion of U.S. executive and legislative branches in the Philippines' domestic issues offended the president, compelling him to take a drastic move against Washington by terminating the VFA. Panelo raised the possibility that the Philippines might enter a similar deal with other countries as long as the future agreements would be based on fairness and would yield mutual benefits to both agreeing nations. He said the United Kingdom has expressed openness to forge a military pact with the Philippines, but the president's focus is on strengthening the country's own defense capabilities. The VFA is terminated 180 days after the U.S. receives the notice of termination from the Philippines. The Philippines and the United Kingdom are set to hold a Joint Defense Committee meeting on March. British Ambassador Daniel Pruce on Tuesday said representatives from the Department of National Defense and UK's Ministry of Defense are expected to discuss during the meet the possibility of a joint military exercise. Malacañang earlier said Manila is open to forging military deals with other nations like the UK following its decision to abrogate the VFA with the United States. Pruce declined to comment on the issue and underscored the two nations' very close and developing relationship on defense and security issues. The MOU on defense cooperation signed between the Philippines and the UK in December 2017 has opened up possibilities for training exchanges and cooperation between the two nations' forces. Two veteran lawmakers on Tuesday said the scrapping of the Visiting Forces Agreement will render useless the Mutual Defense Treaty between the Philippines and the United States. For Senator Panfilo Lacson, nothing much can be done now but to do a 180-day countdown upon receipt of the notice by Washington. He said what is certain is that the 1951 Philippine-U.S. Mutual Defense Treaty will now be reduced to a mere paper treaty as far as the U.S. is concerned. Senate Minority Leader Franklin Drilon agreed with Lacson, saying the Mutual Defense Treaty would be inutile without the VFA. He said the recent development, there is now no sense in continuing the Senate's review of the VFA. Drilon and Lacson, along with Senate President Vicente Soto III, had earlier filed a resolution asking President Duterte to reconsider outright abrogation of the VFA and instead pursue its comprehensive review. Despite the resolution, Drilon acceded that insofar as the VFA is concerned, the president has sole prerogative, being the principal actor in foreign relations. Soto said the resolution they passed only expressed the sense of the Senate and nothing more. Malacañang on Tuesday said it would not interfere with the decision of the Department of Justice to charge former Senator Antonio Trillanes IV and 10 others for their supposed involvement in an alleged ouster plot against President Duterte. Presidential spokesperson Salvador Panelo said the president does not interfere in any proceeding involving the departments. The DOJ has charged Trillanes and 10 others for supposed involvement in an alleged ouster plot against President Duterte. While Trillanes' sedition rap stays, the DOJ dismissed the sedition complaint against Vice President Leni Robredo, Senators Laila de Lima and Risa Ontiveros, and 7 of the Ocho Derecho candidates, namely former Magdalo Representative Gary Alejano, human rights lawyer Jose Manuel Diokno, former Solicitor General Florin Hilbay, election lawyer Romulo Macalintal, Samira Gutok, former Quezon Representative Lorenzo Tañada III, and former Senator Paulo Benigno Aquino IV. Also cleared of charges were CBCP Vice President and Caloocan Bishop Pablo Virgilio David, former CBCP President Lingayen Dagupan Archbishop Socrates Villegas, Cubao Bishop Honesto Ongtioco, retired Novaliches Bishop Teodoro Bacani Jr., former Education Secretary Armin Luistro, and Father Ruben Reyes, among others. Panelo rejected claims made by Robredo that the DOJ's junking of the sedition case filed against her and other members of the opposition showed that it was based on blatant lies and politicking.
Those investigating prosecutors know their task to find probable cause. If the evidence presented to them does not show there is, then they have no other alternative but to dismiss the case.
The Department of Education calls out the Alliance of Concerned Teachers for maliciously using its directive, and DOLE extends assistance to OFWs affected by travel ban to Taiwan. More on these from Janice Cabe.
The Department of Education on Tuesday called out a teachers' federation for maliciously using and interpreting the agency's preventive measures against the coronavirus disease to advance their political agenda. This after the Alliance of Concerned Teachers claims that DepEd exposed the grade 9 learners at the Ramon Magsaysay High School in Quezon City to health risks during an anti-drug culmination activity. In a statement, Education Undersecretary Alain Del Pasco said DepEd allows activities within the school as long as personnel and learners who are exhibiting respiratory infections are prohibited to attend. Pasco advised ACT to do its part in making learners become informed about the novel coronavirus disease outbreak and not sow divisions and haphazard intrigues which could create unnecessary panic for the larger public. Meanwhile, the Department of Trade and Industry received the partial supply of N98 surgical masks from Medtex, the lone local manufacturer based in Bataan. With the assistance of Philippine International Trading Corporation, 125,000 pieces of N98 masks were procured, 70,000 pieces of which were delivered and immediately donated to DOH and regional offices and agencies of DTI. The next batch of deliveries will make available 80,000 pieces, which will be donated to Red Cross. In other news, the Department of Labor and Employment announced that all OFWs affected by Taiwan travel ban are entitled to receive cash assistance. The cash assistance was an immediate response of the DOLE and OWA to the call of President Duterte to ease and lessen the burden of the would-be departing OFWs after the government has imposed the travel ban. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Janice Cabe.
Still to come, the World Health Organization officially renames the novel coronavirus to COVID-19. Iloilo bans the entry of pork and pork byproducts from Mindanao due to the African swine fever. More on these when the PNA Newsroom continues.
We have initiated the repatriation of 30 Filipinos from Wuhan City, China. Upon their arrival at the Haribon hangar at Clark Air Base on 9 February, they were safely and swiftly transported to the athletes' village. Whether you like it or not, I will bring them home. I will bring them home to seek shelter in their country. Saan pa pala sila tatakbo? To assure all our Filipino brothers and sisters that the national government remains to be on top of the threat of the coronavirus. virus. We are prepared to handle all public emergency in case the worst possible scenario happens. Other concerned agencies so that we can meet the needs not only of those who were not affected by the virus, but also the welfare of our frontline health workers. To all chief executives, I hope that this situation will further strengthen our commitment towards becoming responsive and conscientious servant leaders that our country can protect and rely on. May you continue working with us so that we can secure a stronger and healthier future for our country.
The disease that has caused more than 1,000 deaths in China is now called COVID-19. In a press briefing Tuesday, WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus announced the name, which he said is focused on the type of virus that caused the disease. Co and V come from coronavirus, D meaning disease, and 19 standing for 2019, the year the first cases were seen. The new name, which provides a standard format for any future coronavirus outbreak, was agreed upon by the World Health Organization, World Organization for Animal Health, and the Food and Agriculture Organization of the United Nations. As of 6 a.m. Tuesday, Geneva time, the WHO recorded 42,708 confirmed cases in China and 1,017 deaths due to the virus. Most of the cases and the deaths are in Hubei province and Wuhan in China. Outside China, the WHO recorded 393 confirmed cases in 24 countries and 1 mortality. A party list lawmaker on Tuesday urged Speaker Alan Peter Cayetano to direct the House to deliberate on the bill seeking to extend the franchise of broadcasting firm ABS-CBN for another 25 years. Buhay Representative Lito Atienza said the last time the House Committee on Legislative Franchises held a meeting was on November 13, 2019. Lawmakers counted 10 separate bills calling for the extension of ABS-CBN's franchise. Atienza stressed that Congress has the sole power to grant and repeal legislative franchises. Laguna Representative Sol Aragones, meanwhile, said the closure of the network would be detrimental to the interests of its workers and viewers alike. Aragones, a former ABS-CBN reporter, reminded her colleagues that over 11,000 employees would lose their livelihood if the network ceases operations. She said ABS-CBN has millions of viewers and listeners that depend on the network for news and entertainment. In our business news, the Department of Trade and Industry's One Town, One Product Philippines has generated 1.41 billion pesos worth of sales in 2019. The DTI said sales last year came from 37 OTOP Philippines hubs or OTOP.ph nationwide. In 2019, over 10,000 MSMEs were assisted by OTOP program and provided over 6,000 product development services. The OTOP is DTI's stimulus program for micro, small, and medium enterprises that enables localities and communities to determine, enhance, and promote their competitive advantages. Among the products covered by OTOP are processed food, agri-based products, arts and crafts, home and fashion, and creative artisanal products, and skills-based services. Under the OTOP Next Gen, the DTI assists MSMEs through capacity building, technology updating, brand equity and development, intellectual property assistance, access to finance, and marketing platforms and promotions. A commander of the New People's Army surrendered to Davao de Oro's Provincial Task Force ending local communist armed conflict on Monday in Barangay Cabinwagan, New Bataan Town. In a statement, East Mincom spokesperson Ezra Balagte identified the surrenderer only as Bart, a former vice commander operating in the northern boundary of Davao de Oro and Davao Oriental. Balagte said Bart decided to leave the NPA after many of his colleagues surrendered to the government while others have gone into hiding. Bart also revealed that NPA formations are used to merge because of the cascade of surrender. Bart's surrender came after his wife, identified only as Joy, yielded to authorities last month in Barangay Panansalan, Compostela Town. The Army official said both Bart and his wife are now undergoing debriefing prior to their enrollment to the government's Enhanced Comprehensive Local Integration Program. Surigao del Norte has tightened security measures to stop the spread of the African swine fever. Meanwhile, Iloilo bans the entry of pork from Mindanao due to the ASF scare. More on this and other news from the provinces from Teresa Montemayor.
The provincial government of Surigao del Norte has stepped up measures to prevent the entry of the deadly African swine fever in the area. Governor Francisco Matugas issued on February 7 Executive Order 20006, which strictly prohibits the entry of live hogs and pork-related products from regions affected by ASF. The order bans the entry of live hogs and pork products from Davao region, Soc-Sargen, and other areas in the country affected by ASF. Live hogs and pork products from non-affected areas such as Cagayan de Oro and Butuan are still allowed in Surigao del Norte but must have certifications from the Department of Agriculture and the Bureau of Animal Industry. Meanwhile, the Iloilo provincial government has banned the entry of hogs and pork products from Mindanao. This after new cases of ASF were confirmed in the municipalities of Don Marcelino and Mayta, Davao Occidental. Based on monitoring, some 5,000 heads of pigs and over 6,000 kilograms of pork have entered the province from July to December last year. In Davao del Sur, at least 4 villages are being under tight monitoring by the Provincial Veterinary Office after receiving reports of suspected ASF in those areas. The affected villages are Aplaya in Hagonoy Town and Palili, Laperas, and Solong Valley in the municipality of Sulok. Provincial veterinarian Dr. Russell Celis said Davao del Sur is still officially ASF-free, contrary to reports posted on social media. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Teresa Montemayor.
Up next, the local government of Malaya hopes the president can help boost tourism in Boracay. And the shrine for the Cafgu becomes a popular tourist spot in Nueva Ecija. The PNA Newsroom returns after these reminders.
When we talk about repatriation, we would like to inform you that the Department of Labor is ready with its reintegration program. But this refers to yung mga OFWs, yung mga OFWs na i-repatriate natin from China, from Hong Kong, from Macau, and probably even from Japan. We have a package of repatriation program. Number one, of course, is immediate financial assistance. When they come here, no question asked. As long as you're an OFW, active member of OWA, we give you financial assistance. Then, aside from that, we also have yung livelihood assistance. And then, I'm sure most of them may also consider another employment opportunity, so we have also a alternative employment abroad na naman yan. That's why we have been busy establishing labor relations with countries such as Canada, Russia, Czechoslovakia, Croatia, and then even China. Meron din kaming tinatawag na livelihood assistance if they want to go to business rather than get another employment. We can provide them ang minimum assistance namin dyan ay 20,000. Walang ano yan, hindi yan pautang, bigay yan, assistance yan. But they can go as high as 1 million depending on anong business na papasukan nila. Pero ito naman, interest-free. And then finally, this is a long-term assistance sa ating mga OFW. This is the so-called scholarship program for the children of our OFWs. Basta gusto mag-aral ng ating mga OFWs, we will provide them free education.
Tourism in Boracay in Malaya, Aklan, which has been affected by COVID-19 or the novel coronavirus, is expected to somehow boost activities of the island with the scheduled visit of President Rodrigo Duterte. The local government of Malaya is joining the campaign to boost domestic tourism. Malay Town Mayor Floribar Bautista said the visit of the president is welcome to lift the tourism industry hurt by the COVID-19 issue. Bautista has estimated that the outbreak has caused a 30% to 40% drop in tourist arrivals. He noted that the temporary suspension of the entry of all persons with travel history to China, Macau, and Hong Kong since February 7 has helped in securing Malay Town from the possible entry of the virus. He said Boracay Island and Malay remain COVID-free. Tourism Secretary Bernadette Romulo Puyat bared on Monday that the president is set to prove that destinations are safe from COVID-19. The country remains safe as precautionary measures are in place to contain COVID-19 or the deadly 2019 novel coronavirus. The Department of Tourism and the Tourism Congress of the Philippines made the remark as they announced continued marketing and promotions of Philippine destinations. The DOT and the TCP assured the public, especially foreign and domestic tourists, that the Philippines remains a safe destination for travel. They said preventive and precautionary measures are in place, including the temporary entry ban for tourists coming from China, its special administrative regions, Hong Kong and Macau, Taiwan, and the 14-day quarantine for Filipinos coming from the said places. To mitigate the economic impact of the COVID-19 crisis, the tourism sector agreed to roll out a program offering more value-added tour packages, discounted accommodation rates, and marked-down prices for domestic flights. The DOT, for its part, said it will intensify its marketing and promotions domestically and internationally. The World Health Organization has expressed concern about COVID-19 or the 2019 novel coronavirus acute respiratory disease cases recorded in Europe transmitted by persons without travel history to China. WHO Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus said the cases in France and the UK were reported on Friday and Monday, respectively. Health officials said COVID-19 is capable of spreading through human-to-human contact and droplets carried through sneezing and coughing and germs left on inanimate objects. Its symptoms include runny nose, sore throat, and fever. To identify how far and wide COVID-19 has spread, the WHO started equipping laboratories with a capacity to rapidly diagnose cases. The WHO has identified 168 labs around the world with the right technology to diagnose coronavirus. He added that test kits have been sent to Cameroon, Cote d'Ivoire, DRC, Egypt, Ethiopia, Gabon, Ghana, Iran, Kenya, Morocco, Nigeria, Tunisia, Uganda, and Zambia. A shrine honoring the military has become a popular nature spot in Nueva Ecija. The shrine has also become a tourist destination that helped provide livelihood for residents. Late Tabagani has a story.
What was once an empty and unknown location in Nueva Ecija has now become a perfect site for people looking for a place of devotion and serenity amidst nature. The Cafgu Shrine was named after the Citizen Armed Force Geographical Unit and its cadres, whose efforts led to the success of the shrine's construction. The 34-foot shrine is a giant white cross atop a hill with a path made with stone stairs. It complements the breathtaking view of Nueva Ecija's rice and corn granary as its mountain scenery stands in the home of the country's 70th Infantry Battalion in the 7th Infantry Division. When it was completed and opened to the public on December 15, many visitors saw its splendor and their number continues to grow. Due to the regular visits to the shrine, tricycle drivers of Barangay Canantong are often busy providing their services to the visitors. With this, their income was boosted and was expected to increase even in the future. The community is also expected to harvest the benefits from the opportunity of livelihood the shrine offers in the hopes of improving the agro-tourism of the barangay. Visitors and tourists are encouraged to visit the Cafgu Shrine to experience the tranquility and quiet time with the nature and God. Captain Lorenzo Panet Jr. hopes that the Cafgus and cadres be reminded that they should not just be warriors, but they should also have faith in God. For the PNA Newsroom, I'm Lid Kabagani.
Here's another look at today's biggest stories. Malacañang expects ties between the Philippines and the United States to remain warm despite the cancellation of the Visiting Forces Agreement. The World Health Organization officially renames the novel coronavirus to COVID-19. Iloilo bans the entry of pork and pork byproducts from Mindanao due to the African swine fever. And the shrine for the Cafgu becomes a popular tourist spot in Nueva Ecija. Thank you for watching another episode of the PNA Newsroom. To check out more news content, check our webpage or head on to the Philippine News Agency's Facebook and Twitter accounts. For more stories about the government and how it serves Filipinos, look for these hashtags in all of our social media platforms and websites. We are shown on the pages of the PCOO and its attached agencies. Also watch us on television on PTV4 and IBC 13. And that's your daily dose of the biggest stories that you need to know from the PNA Newsroom. I am William Theo. Good day.